Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Corporate Vice President for the Microsoft Corporation, Kirill Tatarinov.
Good morning. I remember pretty well coming up on stage a year ago, giving my keynote for MMS 2003. And I remember how I felt really apologetic back a year ago, and I actually spent quite a bit of time apologizing for Microsoft's underinvestment in systems management and for issues that we historically had with some of our management technologies. Well, here am I today, extremely proud for everything that we have delivered to you in the last 12 months. From Windows Server 2003, which is strongest foundation for Windows Server system with great manageability improvements spanning automated deployment services, Windows Server resource management, and a lot of other improvements such as group policy management consoles and other. To SMS 2003, which is finally delivering on SMS promise and which is great technology that is being used by thousands of customers worldwide. And all the way to our new investment in systems definition model that will truly position us for the future. I'm also here today incredibly excited about super strong lineup of products that you will see us deliver to you in the next 12 months, and we will spend some time talking about it. And I'm also here today incredibly thankful for all the work and for all the patience that you demonstrated to us. I want to thank you big time for waiting for us while we fixed our management technology. And I also want to thank you for all the great feedback that you provided to us as we were fixing and rebuilding our management strategy, and now as we're shifting into rapid execution mode, making sure that we deliver all the right technology to you. I think today is actually absolutely great time to be an IT professional. There are incredibly great things happening in the industry. There are incredibly great things that are being delivered to you. Things that will truly empower you. Things that will truly enable you to connect your businesses. Things that will truly enable you to deliver more value to the business. Things that will truly enable you to reuse components of your technology, to implement service-oriented architecture, to deliver more with less. However, let's be realistic. As we go through this cycle of innovation, complexity will not go away right away. And there will be a period of time when it's actually going to get worse before it gets better. We truly recognize it, and that is the area that we're addressing with our management technology. And this is why management is so important to Microsoft, and this is why we're investing so much in that area, and this is why, as Bob told you yesterday, management is truly in the center of everything we do. Now, traditional systems management industry truly recognizes the issues of complexity, and they truly recognize that those issues need to be solved. However, they're approaching that solution very differently from the way we look at it. They're approaching that solution essentially in two different directions. One direction is to come to you and convince you that the issue of management is so complex and it's so hard that you can't even solve it yourself. And therefore, you just need to outsource it. You just need to let it go and probably have your jobs go with it and have someone else take care of those complexity issues. That is not what we're doing. This is not our approach. That is not our strategy. There's other group of traditional systems management vendors who are actually approaching it from a very traditional approach by saying, you've got to implement big management framework. You've got to layer this complex thing above your applications, above your business. So it tries to come in after the fact, try to re-engineer those applications and manage them. Actually, the quote that I picked up for this section, for this slide, comes from an announcement that one of those management vendors made as they were making another acquisition last month. And it basically tells you that they truly view IT as a battleground, and they truly view management as a huge source of revenue. And also, by calling IT a battleground, to me, they kind of started declaring you an enemy, declaring you as somebody who they're going to fight to extract more revenue from that management issue. If I were to redo this quote, and if I were to come out and say something that would align with our management strategy, and align with our approach, and align with DSI, this is what I would say. Management is about making the IT professional, making you the hero. This is why we're focused on it. This is why it is so important. This is why management for us is a true attribute of our platform. It's true attribute of .NET platform and framework. It's true attribute of Windows Server System. This is where we're driving. Now, as we spend time interacting with you and learning what are the challenges that you're facing and what is that we need to help you overcome to help you become the IT superhero, this is really along the lines of making sure that we help you link with the development, making sure that you can, to a certain degree, dictate the operational constraints to people who develop applications. Make sure that you regain control in that area. It is also about giving you proactive access to the information that comes from your users, so you can truly fix and solve the problems before your users see them, before your users identify them. Now, it is also in the area of interacting with the business owner, making sure that you deliver value to the business owner, making sure that the business application truly performs for the end user and truly delivers on its promise. It is also in the area of convincing the financial management of the corporation that the investment that is going into IT is fully utilized and delivers strong return. Many CFOs, many financial officers that we've been interacting with still, for the most part, viewing IT is this black hole of investment. They see how the money put into business produces return. They don't see how the money they put into IT produces return for us. And we see it our job to help you show, to help you demonstrate financial managers within the corporations what you're doing and how you're doing it to improve the performance of the corporate assets. And finally, last but not least, security. Chief security officers who spend a significant amount of time beating on you and making sure that you deliver on the promise of security and you secure the infrastructure at the level where a corporation is closed from the vectors of many attacks that the bad people in the world and in the industry trying to execute against you. So we view that as our job. We view it as our job to help you become superhero. We view it as our job to help you demonstrate to all the constituencies of users you have in your corporation that you are the hero and that you are delivering true value. And in doing so, we view that the most important element is to put management in the heart of our platform, put management in the heart of .NET Framework, and deliver management in such a way that it's easy to use and it does not turn IT into the next battleground, but it simplifies it, makes it harmonious, and makes it fully integrated. Dynamic Systems Initiative is all about that. And let's be clear. Let's be clear about the key audience of Dynamic Systems Initiative and what Dynamic Systems Initiative do. Dynamic Systems Initiative basically put the center of the gravity back into IT operations. Dynamic Systems Initiative is all about giving you control back so you can create the system definition model of your environment and you can dictate to the developers and to the vendors who are bringing applications into your organization, you can dictate the way that application needs to fit into the policy of your organization. So when it comes in, it doesn't cause problems. So when it comes in, it can be rapidly deployed, it can be deployed in an automated fashion, and it can be managed in such a way that you don't have to reverse engineer it, and you don't have to implement complicated management framework that would have no idea about that application whatsoever. On the other hand, Dynamic Systems Initiative is all about making you proactive in the way you interact with your users. It's all about giving you control of the information, even before that information about the application responses and about the system performance. Giving this information to you so you can act on it, so you can correct the problem before the end user has it. So Dynamic System Initiative is all about making you the superhero. And yet again, this is why we're so much focused on it, and this is why this is so important for Microsoft. The core element of Dynamic System Initiative, what makes it real, what makes it work, is the concept of design for operations. And this is the concept that we have been implementing in Microsoft and also working with our customers and partners even today, to the point that Dynamic Systems Initiative starts today with Microsoft Operation Manager and with management packs. Essentially, what we have done is that we made sure that every application, every product, every technology that is being delivered by Microsoft comes with the management pack. And the ownership of this management pack resides with the owners of that application. And it enables to do a number of things. Developers can put their insight about intrinsics of the application into management pack. The application knowledge can be put into the management pack. And most importantly, operational practices can be encoded in that management pack. People who participate in creation of those management packs within Microsoft are actually people who spend time supporting all of you, supporting our customers. And now they're encoding their knowledge about those support issues into the management pack, making it real. That same approach of creating, of management pack creation, both inside Microsoft and across the industry, will be taken forward as we move into next phase of Dynamic Systems Initiative and as we start implementing systems definition model. And in fact, you should be thinking about management pack as a precursor to systems definition model. Systems definition model becomes true evolution of the management pack, taking it to a new level, making it more schematized, making it more descriptive, making it more shareable and connected in your organization. There's also an important element here about partners. There was a great announcement coming out from Siebel about the fact that they're introducing management pack for MOM. And this is just the beginning. This is just the beginning of our effort to energize, to galvanize the entire ISV industry around Dynamic Systems Initiative and around our approach to management. This is hugely important. We understand that we're not the only vendor in this universe. We understand that interoperability is hugely important to you all. This is why we're doing this. And we're doing it today. And I'm super excited that there are actually customers today who have successfully implemented the concept of design for operations. So one of the great customers who have done that is Toyota Corporation, who have recently built new system, new web portal that connects their dealerships and their corporate assets and basically enable to link information between their dealers and their corporation and improve the efficiencies of their sales process, cataloging, and all the other information sharing. That technology was fully implemented on Windows Server System, which is great implementation, taking advantage of all the technologies that we put in Windows Server System. But most importantly, the implementation of the dealer portal included implementation of Microsoft Operations Manager at the same time as the core application has been implemented. So that's the example of one of our great customers taking full advantage of the concept of design for operations and putting it right into the core of their system. And by doing that, they have reduced their operational cost of new dealer portal by 20%, which enabled them to save cost and which enabled them to use that investment someplace else so they can do more with less. You're actually going to hear from Toyota tomorrow. They will be here on stage telling you more about what they've done and how they've done it. But I thought it's important to bring this example to demonstrate to you how design for operations is helping customers today. Bob talked to you yesterday about great technology that originated in MSN, made its way into Office, and now is available in Windows XP. I'm talking about Watson. I'm talking about technology that enables Microsoft capture information about crashes and critical alerts, enable us to analyze that information without jeopardizing your privacy, and then through the analysis of that information, it enables us to build better software, to correct software, and to do it in a proactive fashion. Bob also mentioned corporate error reporting, which is new technology that we introduced in the last 12 months and which is available for our software assurance customers for free download. And this technology truly takes the concept of Watson and puts it back into you, basically giving you full control of what Watson does and giving you control of analyzing the crash information and critical alert analysis, bring it back to your enterprise and bring it back into your control so you can do it and you can do the analysis before the alerts are being sent to Microsoft. With that, I want to invite on stage Michael Emanuel, who will be helping me with demos this morning, and ask Michael to show you corporate error reporting in action. Michael?
You know, as an IT professional, I know that errors happen. I know that there will be crashes like this at times in my organization. I need to be in control of this. I'm not okay with end users sending this straight back to Microsoft. Anyway, this is useful information for me as I do my day-to-day business as an IT professional. Now, within Active Directory, the current version that we're shipping in Windows Server 2003, I actually have the ability to set a policy that allows me to send this information not directly to Microsoft, but reroute it to an internal database within my organization. So now I, as an IT professional, can start to look at the kind of information and choose what I send back to Microsoft. Let's actually take a look at everything happening in my organization and the kind of error reports that I'm getting. As we can see, it's actually fairly containable. A fair number of my problems are actually around just a couple of applications. Now, I can choose whether to send this information back to Microsoft or not, but let's say I am having some communication with Microsoft at the back end, and here's a problem that appears to be with Word. I can look at the response that Microsoft has presented automatically, and I get this crash analysis report that actually starts to explain what's probably going on in my organization. Now, in this case, you'll see that the problem is an interaction between a version of Acrobat 5.0, and Word working together. In fact, we have a large amount of information on this. The standard knowledge-based articles provide probable cause and actually suggest that you take the update of Acrobat directly from the Adobe site and distribute this. Okay. Now, it's important to know how much information I'm passing to and from Microsoft, and that also is entirely in my control. Here I can set up the amount of information. This is the slider switch, really along the lines of how much do I trust Microsoft. I have it set somewhere around the medium level.
Everybody trusts Microsoft. You need to bring it up to high.
Actually, high means I send nothing to Microsoft. But low means I'll send everything. Where I have it set now is generic. Information will pass to Microsoft. But all those registry keys that sometimes you're asked for, we'll strip those out before we send them up. Also, I have the ability to exclude certain areas of my environment. For example, I have a line of business application that I've built in-house called Timecard. I can also limit which computers go up and perhaps remove certain essential users, such as my CXOs. I don't want their information going back and possibly causing problems. So that's all now in my control. Now, if we look at the Timecard application, we can see that it's an in-house application, and I'm already able to see that quite a lot of problems with this. A number of views I can take on this. For example, I can drill into the application and zoom into the number of people who are using Timecard, who are having problems with it. And here I see some people have only a few problems, but here, this gentleman is having a lot of problems, 131 crashes. And I can go in and I can see exactly when the problem occurred, which computer he was using, and how he was logged on.
That's great, and you can actually do it in a proactive fashion, so you can respond to that user, and you would be responding, not Microsoft, and you would be demonstrating to this user that you care about his issues and you can solve them.
I'm in control, and I can work with the developers who have the crash dump information to develop a better Timecard application for me.
Okay, that's great.
Thank you.
Thank you. So yet again, this is a great example of how new technology from Microsoft helps you regain control and helps you get information about your user crashes, not Microsoft, and help you act on that information. Now, with that, let me shift gears somewhat and talk about our roadmap for the next 12 months and talk to you very specifically about technology that we'll be delivering in the next 12 months. In fact, I had a chance to interact with some of you during yesterday, and there was actually very strong feedback that I heard from many of you. Tell us what you're going to deliver next 12 months. Show us details of the product lineup you're talking about. Show us how it's going to help us now and today. So, SMS 2003. The key message here is we absolutely continue our investment in SMS. In the next 12 months, you will see two feature packs that will be delivered for SMS. First of all, it's OS deployment feature pack. We talked about it last year. We announced it. It's going through very extensive testing right now. It's a great technology for bare metal provisioning of Windows operating system images. It's great technology that would allow you to quickly migrate and upgrade your systems. And I'm truly looking forward for you getting it and start using it. This technology is available in labs here, and you can take a look at it if you haven't done so already. The second technology is the second feature pack is truly extending core SMS 2003 capability of working with mobile users. And essentially, with device management feature pack, we're extending that capability that's already helping many of you managing your laptops and managing your XP embedded devices. We're extending this capability to cover full breadth of Windows CE-based systems such as Pocket PC and smartphone. And as we see smartphones finding their way into corporations, and corporations needing to control passwords and needing to control access on those devices and true software updates, we see that being very, very critical element of our delivery and our promise on SMS 2003. Speaking of SMS 2003, I'm also very excited to talk about SMS Alliance. We have a group of vendors that truly galvanized around SMS and created that great ecosystem delivering on SMS platform. They're all here demonstrating their products. They're actually sponsoring this conference. I'm really, really happy that this is happening. And this is really the area where Microsoft will continue to make strong investment to help those vendors take advanced information about roadmap and make it easy for them to work with us to extend our technology. Companies like Ventela, who are extending SMS to cover non-Windows devices. Companies like Excelinet, who are working with us to extend device management feature pack to work and help you gain control of other wireless devices through your familiar SMS interface. And there's a variety of other vendors here in SMS Alliance, such as Intrinsic and 1E, who are truly helping us implement SMS and helping you implement SMS and go through the deployment. So I think this is a great thing, but also important element of that. This is not just something that happens in of itself. This is something that we're very interested in, and this is something that we will be making investment into. Now let's talk about MOM, Microsoft Operations Manager. You saw some demos yesterday, and I think you saw the great improvements that were made in the product. The particular area that we target is ease of deployment and ease of use. Ease of deployment, I think with MOM 2005, we're taking it to a completely new level. We think that this will set the new bar for IT management products. This will truly demonstrate where the investment needs to be made, and this is truly demonstrate how investment in such a simple issue as deployment can truly help our customers. That's why we're truly excited about this new capability coming out. You saw user interface, and you had a chance to view how easy it is to use our new console and how we're providing topology display, how we're enhancing the navigation, and how we're also introducing different roles within Microsoft Operation Manager that helps both administrators and operators who may not have all the administrative needs take full advantage of the product. I talked about MOM management packs, but I want to repeat it again. This is the most important area. This is core differentiator for MOM 2005. We're spending and investing significant amounts in making sure that our knowledge that comes with MOM is the deepest knowledge in the industry. We're making sure that we're basically turning you all into experts at the level of Microsoft employees who deliver those technologies through delivering the knowledge through MOM. This is a very important area, and this is very, very important for us, and we'll absolutely continue that investment. Bob mentioned MOM 2005 Express. This is a very exciting new thing that we're introducing with MOM 2005. This is really technology that takes MOM to even more advanced level of simplicity and ease of deployment. What we're doing with MOM 2005, we looked at all the complexity of MOM installation, and we looked at it, talked to some of our customers, talked to some of you, and said, okay, how can we contain it some more? How can we simplify it? By perhaps reducing some advanced functionality, But how can we make it so easy that even IT generalist, somebody who is not even professionally trained IT person, can take this product and start using it and start deploying it in small and medium organizations? And this is exactly what we did with MOM 2005. MOM 2005 Express. We somewhat constrained the product. It works in AD environment only. It supports limited number of servers. It has limited database support. It works with MSDE. It doesn't require SQL Server if you haven't already deployed it. So there are some constraints, but it's simple. It's one box install. It can be installed in 1 to 1 hour, and not just installed, but fully deployed, managing those servers, delivering information, and showing you what's happening in your environment. So I'm truly, truly excited about it. We've made the announcement yesterday. It's available for beta download. I strongly encourage you to go bring this product in and start looking at it. We need your feedback here, but we think this is just right on the mark of simplicity that we promised you. Another great advancement that we made in MOM area is MOM Connector Framework. This is something that we actually delivered during the last year, and this is something that we delivered taking your direct feedback. Taking your direct feedback that interoperability is hugely important for you, and we have to interoperate with other third-party management frameworks. Basically, this framework is very simple, web services-based technology, XML-based, that enables MOM to share the alert information in a bidirectional fashion with other management frameworks. Essentially, MOM receives the alert. You saw a little animation there. MOM receives the alert. It can pass this alert to other management framework. That other management framework operator could resolve the alert. The information about alert resolution comes back to MOM. Both management tools stay synchronized. Very important in large environments where MOM is truly the product of choice for managing Windows servers, and where other management framework can be used for heterogeneous needs or for truly enterprise class, telco class, provider class, enterprise console. Now, the other important aspect of this bidirectional access is the fact that in a similar fashion, MOM can receive alert from any other management product. Essentially, we have some great partners that are present on this conference. There's a partner, Smart, who have delivered connector, sending alerts about networking devices into MOM, and essentially turning MOM into more of an enterprise class product that not just looking at Windows Server, but also receiving alerts from Smart. That's actually the technology that we use in our own IT operations, in our own Microsoft IT. This is how we manage our networks and Windows servers. We manage them through MOM by utilizing Smart's technology and by utilizing that MOM Connector Framework. The other important aspect of this MOM Connector Framework area is the fact that we actually investing not just in the framework, not just in the enabling technology, but also delivering the most critical connectors that you asked us to deliver. In the fall, we've delivered connector to Tivoli. We delivered through our partner, who's making it available to our customers in MOM Resource Kit. Next month, we'll be delivering connectors for HP Network Node Manager and HP OpenView for operations for Windows. Two technologies that you requested that we work with, make investment, and deliver to you. And that's exactly what we've done. Those technologies will be available. They will be available as part of MOM Resource Kit. But more importantly, this is really the area where, yet again, the ecosystem of partners is galvanizing around our platform, around our management technology. And yesterday and today, you will see announcements from Hitachi, NSC, and many other management vendors who will be integrating with MOM and delivering their own MOM connector frameworks to MOM with their technology. So it's kind of industry-wide initiative to resolve the issues of interoperability among the management products. We talked about MOM Express. We talked about MOM Express and the fact it can be installed under 1 hour. Deployed under 1 hour. We were very tempted to actually demonstrate MOM deployment to you, but we decided not to take that hour or 30 minutes or what else through this demo. And we just wanted to demonstrate you very simple scenario of how MOM could be used by IT generalists managing Exchange installation, managing group of Exchange servers, and yet getting all the knowledge about Exchange and really, literally turning into expert by the value that MOM delivers to them. So with that, I want to invite Michael Emanuel back on stage and ask Michael to show us that mom management scenario. Michael.
Thank you. You know, I think I've always wanted to stand in front of 2,500 people and say, here's one I prepared earlier. What I have here is a system that quite literally could be configured to this state and operational inside an hour from taking the CD out of the sleeve and putting it in the CD tray. Now, what I love about MOM is the management packs, and the fact that what I'm showing you here is a management pack. It's a standard set of management packs that we would use for the big enterprise that maybe is connecting MOM and all these big infrastructures that Kirill was just talking about, and taking that idea down to the person who maybe is not an IT specialist, but a generalist, as Kirill said, living in an organization where he's working with his service providers to provide support. In this screen here, this may be where I live, and check back every now and then to see how my system of 5 or 6 servers is running. Each column represents some function that each of my servers is doing. And I can see immediately that as the OS is running fine, got a few issues with IIS running, but I have some big problem with Exchange right now. And even if I don't know what I'm doing, I can at least click on Exchange and get a little bit more information. These are the different components of Exchange, and I can see immediately, before I pick up the phone to talk to my service provider, that I have a problem with the information store. Everything else is fine. Now, I can go further than this and actually go into the more interesting details and look up if there's any product knowledge on this. And indeed, in this particular case, the Exchange support teams across the world have seen this problem many times, and this information is now captured into management packs. And it actually says that this particular incident, 99% of the time when we've seen it before, it's a hardware failure.
It's always a hardware problem, right?
Always a hardware problem. So, armed with this information, I can work with my service provider who may actually want to do some additional testing before they come out. And I can run the same tasks, which are all context sensitive, so even if I don't know what I'm doing, I can be talked through to, for example, do a simple check disk, and it will find the server that I'm working on for me. I don't need to know how to find the machines at a command line. And of course, check disk does 3 scans, and if I've got problems, I should start to see some bad blocks coming up. And indeed, I do see this very interesting result, which doesn't look at all good. So I'm going to get on the phone to the service provider and say, come up with some new hardware. I'm going to help him a little bit more. I'm actually going to send him a diagram of what my system currently looks like. So it's scanning the system. This is my system. This is the specific machine we're talking about. And rather than sending him a snapshot of this, I can export this to a Visio diagram. And then attach the Visio diagram to an email. Not only does he get the diagram, but he gets the properties of the machine too. I can see the type of hardware, the IP address, so I'm giving my service provider the opportunity to come out and fix the problem first time.
All right, that's great.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Michael. So, again, very, very interesting scenario on how non-expert can actually be turned into expert through MOM technology and through MOM management pack and through simplicity that we encoded in MOM Express. Now, let's talk about System Center. A year ago, we came out, and as part of our big DSI push, we announced System Center. We announced that System Center is going to be something that will bring MOM and SMS together, and it will be something that will deliver on a true enterprise management requirements. We spent that year both building the technology, but also a great deal of interaction with many of you, capturing your feedback on how we should approach that. One of the core questions that you've been asking us, well, you're introducing System Center. What's going to happen to MOM and SMS? What came out of those discussions is a very strong requirement for us to continue MOM and SMS as independent products. And this is exactly what we're going to do. We will continue to invest in SMS. We understand that many of you want SMS as a standalone product, and we will deliver it. We will continue to deliver on MOM promise, and we'll continue to build management pack, and we'll continue to invest in great areas of Microsoft Operations Manager. But at the same time, we will be bringing two together. So for those of you who want the two technologies working together and who want the full advantage of integrated, centralized enterprise management information, and you saw the power of that yesterday when we demonstrated System Center reporting, we will deliver a suite. We will deliver Microsoft System Center, which will bring Systems Management Server and Microsoft Operations Manager and add more components to it. Add more components that are more of an enterprise nature. So with System Center 2005, that is coming out in the second half of this calendar year, we're adding common reporting. We're adding reporting based on SQL Server, of course, based on new SQL Server reporting services. That is the richest reporting infrastructure for SQL Server. We're adding capabilities of two data sets come together through a common schema and allow you to generate very, very important and useful reports. And you saw some of those reports yesterday. Now, another important aspect of that reporting infrastructure that we're delivering with System Center 2005 is that it actually can be extended. And we're not going to stop on the relatively small number of reports that we will deliver with the initial shipment of System Center 2005. We will enable you and we will enable the industry to deliver those reports through the community-based vehicle. So you can share your best practices, and we can continue to share our best practices with you and give you more enterprise reports that can help you implement more enterprise scenarios and regain more control. So that's essentially what Microsoft System Center is all about. And this is, again, part of a super strong lineup of products that is coming to you in the next 12 months. With that, I want to move a little bit farther into the future. Bob mentioned yesterday System Center V2 is one of our core future deliverables. And many of you came to us in the last 24 hours since Bob's presentation and asked the question, what is that you're putting in System Center V2? You need to realize that we're still going through the final planning stages. And in fact, at this conference, we're talking to many of you about the content of System Center version 2. And we're finalizing our prioritization of core components that are going in there. But more importantly, I think we're pretty much set on the core themes that we will deliver in System Center 2. And those core themes basically articulated on the diagram in front of you. Important aspect of that, we will continue our investment in SMS and MOM. And with System Center V2, you will see significant usability enhancement in Systems Management Server. You will see that Systems Management Server will actually get to the level where you don't have to be a trained expert or you don't have to use a consultant to implement Systems Management Server itself and also use it for deployment of patches, critical updates, and your line of business software. This is core area of investment in SMS. In Microsoft Operations Manager, the investments that we're making can be broken into three phases, essentially. One very important area is along the lines of the management packs, and that is the area of automation. A lot of actions, a lot of tasks that are encoded in our management packs still require operator to perform some manual tasks. And many of those tasks can actually be automated. So we will be taking an effort of learning more about automation and putting this automation back into the product. So the management pack even further reduces the requirement of operator to touch the product. It would resolve the issues by itself, or it would alert the hardware administrator if need to be automatically. Or in the example that you just saw in MOM Express, that email that Michael was about to send manually, well, that email in reality could have been automated and could have been sent automatically through knowledge that's embedded in the product and also through the knowledge that you can put in the product by extending the knowledge that we're providing and building your own automation into the product. So that's one core important investment and one core important area that we're working on in next generation of MOM. The other two is somewhat aligned. The other two are basically in the areas of impact analysis and root cause analysis, where you're going to be able to go deeper into analysis of the problem, and you're going to be able to see the root cause of the issues, and instead of looking at the list of 15 alerts that can be interrelated, you're actually going to be able to to diagnose it. The product will help you diagnose it automatically so you can see what's actually caused this chain of alerts and which one you need to work on and which one you need to fix to remove all these issues instead of you manually going through the list of 15 alerts and trying to do all that analysis by yourself. And also doing impact analysis on how changes in your environment and how potential new installations and how potential changes in performance can impact your business applications. Some of it we're doing already today. Some of it we're doing already today when we integrate MOM with BizTalk, when you can analyze the impact analysis of MOM on certain business application. But with next generation of MOM technology, we will take it to the next level and we will make it fully automated. So that's MOM and SMS, and yet again, the investment continues, and this is hugely important for us. Another very important area of investment that really spans both MOM and SMS is desired state management. This is the area that I think systems management industry has dramatically overpromised and underdelivered over the years. I was actually stunned when we were going through analysis on desired state and kind of the state of the universe and what's happening in the industry. I was trying to find existing solution that would deliver on desired state management. And I found none. None exist. While it's been talk about desired state management for the last 10, 15 years. It's just stunning. So what we're going to do here is we will deliver on it. And when you think about everything we're doing in systems definition model and everything we're doing with schematizing the knowledge and putting manifests in our environment and allowing our environment to basically become stateful and expose the information, expose the state that our components and applications are in, it is very easy and logical next step to take it to the next level and enable you to define systems definition model describing all the core characteristics, describing the desired state of the overall environment, and link it back into individual components and make sure that it all works in harmony. This is one of the core technologies that will fully explore systems definition model in System Center version 2. I'm truly excited about it, and I think this is one case where we will deliver on that long-forgotten industry promise. And the final area that is also very important here, very important innovation, is in the area of the data warehousing. Basically, the reporting engine that we're introducing in System Center 2005 will be fully extended. The schema will be fully SDM-based. The schema will be extensible. We will enable you to truly turn System Center V2 and truly turn this data warehouse into change and configuration management database that can bring together all of the change and configuration management information and all of the operational management information in your enterprise and deliver this integrated and integratable and interoperable data warehousing technology. And last but not least, capacity planning. That's been another sore subject for this industry. That's been another one area where the industry have underdelivered. In fact, I had a dinner with several customers, and one of the customers commented that their organization tried to use some of the capacity planning technology, some of the modeling technology, and none of them could be trusted. None of them could actually deliver the results that could be trusted and could actually be looked at in the context of their enterprise. None of that would relate to the reality. And that's another area where a systems definition model approach would enable us to solve, where we have models, we have prescriptive guidance built into these models, and we can enable our customers to implement capacity planning scenarios. We've announced our desire to go into capacity planning a year ago at last year's Management Summit. And we also talked about our approach to that. We talked about modeling engine that was actually created in Microsoft Research in Cambridge and how we are taking it forward, how we brought it into MSN, and how we used it to run our internal operations and model our internal operations, and how we're now productizing it and making it into a product. We also looked at the breadth of capacity planning scenarios. There are really many of them, many different things that you would want to do with modeling engine. But at the same time, we wanted to deliver something rather quickly. We wanted to put something in your hands, and we wanted to relieve your pains in the most critical area. And one of the areas where you told us is most critical to you right now is pre-deployment analysis and pre-deployment architectural sizing of your installation of Exchange and Active Directory. So that's exactly the direction we decided to take the capacity planning technology that we announced last year. We've done some work, we've logged in our scenarios, and today we're actually going to be showing you advanced prototype of that part of System Center V2 that addresses on the exchange pre-deployment sizing and essentially helping the IT professional to determine what type of architecture and what type of server and what type of configuration they need to create to deliver on their promise and to deliver on the architecture before it's actually being implemented in such a way that when it's all deployed, it delivers on the required service level. So with that, I want to invite Michael Emanuel back on stage yet again. And I'm going to ask Michael to show us what we call Project Indy, which is pre-deployment sizing of Exchange. Michael, please.
Good to see you again. You know, what I showed you in the previous demonstration really helps me as an IT professional look after today's needs. But as Kirill says, my other job, which I'm now perhaps freer to do, is to plan the next wave. So what I want to show you is how far we've advanced in the ability to help you size your next Exchange deployment. Now, I'm going to show you this demonstration in two parts. First, I've got to create the model, and the next thing I'm going to do is run the model and show you the utilization and the typical traffic flows that I'm going to see.
So it's the system definition model you're going to create for the environment that you are planning.
Absolutely.
And where is the required system definition model come from?
So there's two different parts to this. First off, the Exchange team, through the customer experience, is able to contribute a vast amount of information into the model about use and health and indicators. And also we're able to feed into that model ahead of time is all our prescriptive guidance. So all I need to do is now add what makes this my system, and then I can compare and contrast my needs against the prescriptive guidance and the expected performance of Exchange.
Great. Let's get to it.
Well, I'm going to show you that we've actually reduced this whole process of building a model to a wizard. Now, as I run through this, think about any of you who have experienced capacity planning tools before, how much effort it is to size a system. Now, inbuilt within the model are certain characteristic profiles. So let's say among the vertical industries that we've already got in the model, let's say I'm in the banking environment. This will allow me to set up certain expected conditions for this type of industry. Now, I have 3 offices in my entire empire, and they're based in the Americas and in Europe and in Asia. So I need to set up certain parameters about my system. In the Americas, I have about 4,000 users, and I'm going to set the time zone out of New York. Now, it is important that I get these time zones right. Obviously, the peak traffic loads in a worldwide industry is going to have significant impact on what traffic is going to flow. My second site is Europe, and that has just 400 users.
Which is quite typical.
And I'm going to do that out of London for no particular bias. And then finally, in Asia, I have about 1,000 users, and they're 9 hours ahead of London time. Next thing I need to do is set up the links between my different sites. So I'm just going to have 2 links. I'm going to have a T1 link between America and Europe, and I'm going to have another T1 link between the Americas and Asia. So in this model, if I want to send email from London to Tokyo, it's going to have to go via America. Okay, the next thing I need to do is add in my typical usage patterns in my different regions. Now, again, this is where picking the vertical sector of banking at the beginning is going to save me a lot of key entry. In a typical banking environment, we estimate about 90% of the employees are logged on during their normal working day, that about 20% of them have new technology such as smartphones, and you're using Outlook mobile access. And then about 15% of them are also coming in through Outlook web access. I'm going to give each of them 100 megabyte mailboxes, and I am able here to program in also my standard machine that I use in my organization. And in my organization, I'm going to standardize on dual Xeon 3 gigahertz machines with 2 drives.
And presumably there is a systems definition model for that machine already created that would be loaded into modeling engine and be meshed with Exchange model and your prescriptive model.
That's right, Kirill. So what we have here is all the generic models for the different types of hardware that are around today. That can be added to. And of course, manufacturers can add their own descriptions that further expand and enhance on this model. Now, there are about 150 parameters that I'm really not going to want to adjust if I don't know what I'm doing. These are the defaults that are set for the banking industry. I can adjust any one that I wish to. And really, that's it. I just created the model.
That's great. Pretty straightforward.
Can't make it much simpler than that, but we'll try. Now, next thing I want to do, I've now programmed in my parameters of what I look like in my future mailbox system. What I need to see is if I've got enough disk capacity, enough hardware to drive this system, so I can compare my model against the prescriptive architectures and guidance and patterns and practices that are already in SDM, the system definition model, and it's advising me very quickly how many machines of the particular type that I selected I'm going to need in each region for the kind of environment that I'm running.
So I could basically take this architecture, take it straight to my procurement, say this is what I need to implement it, and this is my plan.
Indeed. So your procurement knows exactly how much hardware it needs, and I know where to offload certain services. For example, it's suggesting to me that I have 2 mailbox servers in America, but that I offload all my networking work to a separate server, which is my gateway to handle all the traffic, and yet another one for my front end.
So basically taking the deep knowledge of how Exchange interacts and what are different roles of Exchange server there might be and putting them in the model.
And knowing what is going to happen at the same time, so maybe I want to share that information across more than one server.
Great.
So now we agree that this might be the architecture we want to try and use in our environment. It's optimized for me. I'm going to simulate traffic through this network, average banking traffic.
So now the modeling engine kicks in with the models being fully loaded and actually runs it as if it was live environment.
And it's running my environment, my future production environment. And I can sort this in a number of different ways. For example, I can see immediately that server 6 is my most heavily used device, but even here it's only running in typical usage at 58%. That means I've got about just over 40% headroom for peak loads and for expansion. Okay, I have many different ways to sort this, and I just like doing this. This is now looking at the whole system server by server, and within each server, looking at the CPU utilization, the hard drive utilization, and the traffic flow in and out of the network interface card.
That's great. So what about meeting my service level agreement?
Well, this is a good point, because all I've proven here is that I have a system that will run. What I haven't done yet, and what I can do, is test what the user experience is going to be on this. Now, this is really where the work of the data warehouse and everything else comes in, because along with the basic modeling, I can now do some capacity planning reports straight off that data warehouse and look at the transaction latencies. Now, for example, let's say I want to see the typical end-to-end delay of getting a message sent from Americas to Tokyo. All I need to do is select the type of transaction I want to look at the sites I want to communicate between, pick the type of load, let's just try average load, and see what typical experience a user is going to get in terms of passing messages end to end. Now, this report actually breaks the information into 3 different views. The first view, on your left, shows the amount of latency, the amount of time the messages are spending in each component. And we can see that a lot of the time for the message is being spent on hard drives or working across, traversing across the wide area network. In the second diagram on the right, you can see that I've now broken the same information down device by device. And I can see that the hardest working devices in terms of, well, maybe they're not hard working, but they're holding on to my message for the longest time, is the wide area network and server number 4. Now, if I just took those pie charts I might think, wow, I've got to put more link speed in here. So the third table is really important too, because it shows the end-to-end length of time it takes a message to move from America to Tokyo. And although there are some delays, it spends about a quarter of a second in server number 4 in America before it makes it out across the LAN. You can see how much time it spends across the LAN and the WAN, and when you total it all up, I'm still getting messages on average from New York to Tokyo in under a second.
Which presumably meets your SLA objective, and you know about it even before you implemented the system.
And if this doesn't meet my service level objectives, I go back, I remodel, and I find out what hardware I will need to meet my objectives.
That's great.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Michael. So yet again, this is core technology that is being built to put you in control. It is being built so you can know how you're going to be delivering on your objectives to your business even before you start your implementation. It enables you to gain more control. It enables you to be more proactive. It enables you to deliver better results to your business and come out as a hero as a result of that. So let's talk about how System Center and how the roadmap that we talked about can actually help you be the hero. And let's talk about how System Center enables you to deliver to those different user constituencies within your organization. Well, first of all, developer. This is a fundamental delivery of Dynamic Systems Initiative. This is where SDM comes into place. This is where the strong linkage between system definition model being implemented in System Center and systems definition model being implemented in Visual Studio come together and play together. This is where finally developer and operations get linked, and this life cycle starts to work. And let's think about the end user. From the end user perspective, it's all about generating feedback, and it's also about proactively getting issues resolved by the IT operator, by the IT professional. This is another area where System Center and Microsoft tools and Dynamic Systems Initiative going to help you. You are going to be able to learn about errors before anyone else knows about them. You are going to be able to react, and you are going to be able to fix them before anybody knows about them. And you are going to be able to come out as a hero in front of your users. Now, let's talk about the financial analysts, the financial managers in your company. And let's talk about business owners. That's where the money is. That's where the return on their investment is the most important attribute. By introducing data warehouse and by introducing complete database with very rich set of dashboards and portals that would enable financial users in your company, that would enable business users in your company to look at how IT is doing for them, you're essentially demonstrating to them your success. You're demonstrating to them that you are delivering on your promise. You're demonstrating to them that line of business applications that you're responsible for running for them are in fact running and are running within the service level agreement, service level objective that you have with them. And from the financial standpoint, it's pretty clear. You are going to be able to demonstrate how IT is impacting your business and how business is taking full advantage of IT investment by demonstrating that strong linkage from our business applications, such as BizTalk, and our operational applications, such as System Center and Microsoft Operations Manager. And finally, the security officer. The security officer who really need to be the one to define security policy for the enterprise and make sure that that security policy gets fully enforced and make sure that that security policy stays up at all times. This is really where desired state management comes in. This is really where Chief Security Officer is going to be able to take full advantage of systems definition model and System Center technology to define security policy in systems definition model and to enforce that security policy across the enterprise through the System Center, desired state management module that would basically make sure that all the components in your enterprise are fully linked, that would make sure that all the components in your enterprise are complying with the subset of that security policy that relates to them, and that would also enable you to bring these components back into compliance if they're out, or also enable you to automate some of this compliance to make sure that those components that went out of compliance can be brought back in automatically. So that's really the power of desired state management and how it helps chief security officer. All in all, as you can see, those technologies enabled by systems definition model and those innovations that we're putting into Systems Center is really targeting you and really empowering you and really making you a hero and really making it simple and harmonious in such a way that you don't have to invest into tremendously complicated management frameworks. You don't have to let your jobs and your business go away to some outsourcer. You can bet on a technology that is built from the platform up and truly empowers you and truly makes you a hero. Another important aspect that we do here, in addition to technology, something that, again, we hear from you time and time again, something that is hugely important, is the area of process-driven management. This is the area that we call Microsoft Solutions for Management. And this is the area where we have basically looked across the industry, and we looked at various process guides that existed in the industry, and we looked at the way to implement them for our customers. Well, the obvious one that most of you know about is ITIL. ITIL, that is basically architectural guide sponsored by the UK government that essentially delivers sort of a recipe on how IT needs to look like. Well, ITIL is great. There was just one area that was kind of sort of missing from ITIL, and that is the area of how you actually get to this recipe, how you get more prescriptive, and how do you share best practices. This is exactly the area where we extended ITIL and where we come out with MOF, which is Microsoft Operations Framework, which is extension of ITIL, adding those prescriptive guides and adding those best practices sharing. This is exactly what we're delivering, and this is exactly what Microsoft Solutions for Management is based. This is a set of prescriptive guides. This is a set of best practices. That is a set of planning disciplines that we make available to our customers for free download that basically empower you and that will basically blend the process with the product and enable you to not just take the technology by itself. No matter how easy it is to use, technology by itself still needs to come in with the guide that tells you how it should fit in your enterprise. This is exactly what Microsoft Solutions for Management do, and we've been doing it for last 2 years. And very important shift that we've done in the way we do it is, in fact, that we now connect Microsoft Solutions for Management with our products much closer than we've ever done it before. In fact, prescriptive guides and best practices are now available to you for free download at the same time as we ship our product. We started doing it with SMS 2003. SMS 2003 became available at the same time as we made available prescriptive guide for server deployment and updating on our website. We will do the same with MOM 2005, and we will do the same with Systems Center and all the future versions of Systems Center as we move further up to the enterprise. It's also important to note that we're working and doing it in a very tight cooperation with ITIL community. In fact, all the work that we've done to extend ITIL and to create MOF will be shared with ITIL, and we're in the process of enriching ITIL and taking ITIL to the next level so ITIL itself can become true standard and we can all standardize on one and the same thing. This is, again, very important investment on our part and very important thing that it's very important you know about and it's very important you take advantage of as you go and solve your management needs. Bob closed off his speech yesterday talking about SMS 2003. And I can't emphasize this enough. In fact, I decided that I will wear SMS 2003 shirt to remind you one more time, get on SMS 2003. If you use older version of SMS, get on SMS 2003. If you have not implemented patch management strategy, get on SMS 2003. If you're using some old legacy software deployment technology that I'm sure not delivering to your full needs, get on SMS 2003. Evaluations are available for download, so please look at it if you haven't done so already. MOM 2005 has gone beta. It's gone beta yesterday. This is final beta that we're going to do. We're rapidly moving into producing release candidate and RTMing the product later on this summer. I would strongly encourage you to download this product and take a look at it and provide feedback and start get yourself acclimated with it. This is by far the best way to manage Windows servers. This is also the most cost-effective ways to manage your Windows servers compared to the rest of the industry. So that beta is a great way for you to start moving in that direction. I talked about Microsoft Solution Accelerators, Microsoft Solution for Management. They are available for free download. I would strongly encourage you to get this information and start using it. It will help you instantaneously. And finally, we talked about corporate error reporting. If you are one of our software assurance customers, I strongly encourage you to look at it. I strongly encourage you to put it in your environment so you can start regaining control, so you can be the one who analyzes the crashes and shows you end users that you are the hero. With that, I want to close. I'm Kirill T at Microsoft.com. It is my job to make sure that we execute on Dynamic Systems Initiative, and it is my mission to help you become IT superheroes. Thank you very much.